Oh boy. It's nice to get out again. See if this guy sees me or not. Yep. You can see these ladies on the right. They got their jackets wrapped around their waist. So yeah, it's a very comfortable day in terms of temperature. Take a left-hand turn here, and I think I'm going to run into some wet roads on the way over to where I'm heading next, but maybe not. I mentioned earlier that I have made some upgrades to my bike during the winter, and one of the things that I did do, and it's something I recommend to other people who don't think about it, is get yourself a new chain. I like to put on a new chain about every 1,000, 1,500 miles. Considering the cost of a chain and your gearing and your sprockets and all the other sort of thing the chain comes in contact with, keeping a relatively new and well-maintained chain on your bike cuts down the wear and tear on all those other critical, much more expensive components. Plus the fact your bike runs better. It does. Clean, new stuff always works better. Well, this is encouraging. I mentioned not wanting to ride on wet roads. This piece of road right here generally is always the last to shed away its wetness. Something about the topography around here, and it's good to see that it's nice and dry. I found a really interesting article, or at least a formula for calculating how long of a chain you should put on your bike. And because when you do put a new chain on your bike, if you do it yourself, I think the headwind. I think the first thought people have is, well, I'll use the old chain to measure how long the new chain should be. So when I take the old chain off, I'll just lie the two chains side by side and determine where to cut into the new chain. Turns out it's not a good idea for a couple of reasons. First of all, your old chain probably has stretched, so therefore it's longer than you want it to be. if you're going to use a comparison of one chain to another, count the number of links in the old chain and use that to determine how long you want your new chain to be. So I did that. I used the second method just to see what the length should be. But going back to that formula I mentioned, it's pretty cool. What you do is you take your distance, the length of your chain, say, well, you measure from your rear wheel, from the center of your rear wheel to the center of the hub. You take that dimension, you double it, you take the number of teeth on your large sprocket, divide that by 4, take the number of teeth on the biggest diameter, or the largest size cog off the cassette, divide that by 4. You add all those numbers together plus 1 inch, and that's the inches, that's the length of your chain in inches that is recommended for your particular bike. So I used that method and I compared it to taking off the old chain and counting links and all that other stuff I just mentioned. And I found that the chain by the second method, by the calculation method, determined that my chain should have been, my chain would be like almost 2 inches shorter than if I used the method of counting links. And I went with that method too. I'm glad I did, because what I found is the drivetrain is much more quiet. Pardon me for a second, I'm beginning to sniffle a little bit. Now when I say the drive chain is quieter, the thing that I notice most, I especially notice if I play back some of my older videos, if I'm going over a rough road, you get a chattering from the chain. You actually hear, I think the chain kind of whips a little bit if it's too loose. It may even slap the chainstays from time to time. But yeah, I'm very happy when I found that formula, and it makes a lot of sense. The problem with taking off an old chain and using that to determine your new chain, as I said, it may very well be that at some point that chain was put on and was the wrong length to begin with. Anyway, change your chain, boys and girls.